Hello and welcome Rocketeers to the first Power-Grid tutorial video. So in this tutorial video we're going to show you how to get started with Power-Grid. So the first step will be to create a new account if you don't already have one. Simply click on Create New Account and fill in all the relevant details. So your country, nickname, password, email and so on. In the event that you do already have an account, you can simply log in with your email address and password. You can of course click on Stay Logged In to ensure that this process doesn't need to be repeated every time you open the host software. So on the right hand side of the screen we're going to show you what the app will look like on your mobile device. So the first step will be to link or pair your smartphone to the host software. So this is an important step, so you need to click Yes to ensure that you're happy to pair the device to the host software. Upon doing so, the host software will open on your PC, and this is how it looks when you open it. To get started, we are going to click on Settings to ensure that our email, Facebook, and so on settings are all set up properly. So the first thing you'll see is your registered devices. I mean, here we can see the device that we've just registered now. We've paired it. These can be changed at any time. We're going to move on to email settings and set these up so that it will display properly in the incoming center. So perhaps you have a Google Mail address or one provided by your ISP. Simply fill in the server, username, password and other relevant details and click on Apply after doing so. It is important that you click on Active to ensure that the emails actually display in the incoming center, because if that's not done then your email address might be linked but you won't actually see the emails display in the incoming center. So moving on from the email settings onto Facebook, somewhat easier to do, you simply click the Facebook login and it will prompt you to log into Facebook. Upon doing so, it will ask your permission to link Power-Grid to your Facebook account, and this is something you can do if you have a Facebook account. You can also decide which categories you want to display in the incoming center. Status messages, web links, photos, videos, inbox messages, and so on. Of course, clicking Active is important to ensure that the messages actually display. Moving on to RSS settings. Here we can include RSS feeds to display in the incoming center. So we'll move on to use our browser to navigate to the site of our choosing, in this case Tom's Hardware. And we're going to click the RSS link here. So what we want to do is get the 50 latest articles. So we're going to click the RSS link for that. So at the top of the screen in the address bar we can see the link to the RSS feed. We simply copy that to the clipboard, tab back into Power-Grid, click on Add, paste the RSS feed link, test it. We can see that it's working. It's asking, do we want to apply it? Yes, we do. We click on Active to ensure that it will display in the incoming center. Click on Apply, and here we can see on the right that the feeds have loaded successfully into the incoming center. Moving on to Skype. Skype works in a slightly different way. We open Skype, click on Connect with Skype, and we will see a notification at the top asking if we want to permit Power-Grid to access Skype. Of course, in this case we do, and we can see that the connection status has changed to connected. We clicked on Active, click on Apply. This will ensure that the Skype messages appear in the incoming center. Moving on to TeamSpeak. TeamSpeak depends on a plugin called Client Query, which is usually enabled by default in TeamSpeak, but we're going to show you how to check that that's the case. Opening TeamSpeak 3, we click on Settings, Plugins, and we can see the Client Query is ticked. So it needs to be ticked in order to use TeamSpeak with Power-Grid. So upon clicking the tick, we can go back to Power-Grid, click Active, we apply, and we see that it's connected. And then of course we can see which categories, which messages we want to display. In this case we're enabling all of them. Finally we have Twitter settings. Twitter works in much the same way as Facebook. We click the Twitter login button. We'll receive a prompt to log in to Twitter, after which we will have to authorize Power-Grid to be used with Twitter. This is something you can easily do if you have a Twitter account. There are also app settings that can be changed on the mobile device itself, but these relate only to the device, and they are, for example, to do with button sounds, device, and other device settings. So most of the settings are done in the host software. And that's it for now.